guys, and welcome back to episode 11 of Hammer Time. It's the final episode of the season. We've got the first year near enough done now. We did, sadly last time, lose to Atalanta in the Europa League, where we just ended up going out. 4-1 win at home for Atalanta was too much of a deficit for us to try and pull back at our own ground. And it just didn't go well for us. It just did not go well at all. So, since then, we've gone on a mental run, an absolutely crazy run. Chelsea, 2-0 win against them. Thiago Silva getting sent off in the 52nd minute when we had the freedom to go out there and just plan an attack and just go for it, which was perfect for us, and essentially. So a 2-0 win there. And an away win against Burnley, 1-0. Nice little tidy win. Souček getting the win for us. Now Armada picking up a nice early goal against Leeds, to which then Rodrigo scored an own goal in the 73rd minute, near enough ending the game, but Rafinha came back in the 80th just to pull one back, but they couldn't get it over the line. Then Tyrick Mitchell got sent off after Mikel Antonio scored a goal in the 37th minute, which meant Crystal Palace were confirmed to be going down, and we were still climbing the table. We were climbing the table pretty well. Then a 6-2 thrashing. I think I've shown you the highlights will probably still be going. An absolute thrashing against Southampton's 5 goals within the first 27 minutes. We absolutely demolished them, to which then they came out after half-time, scored 2, but in the 92nd minute brought on Kobayas just to play him a bit of a game, and he managed to tuck one home for himself. Then a loss to Watford, an interesting loss to Watford. I mean, 2-0 away from home isn't too bad, but Watford played a pretty good game in a 4-4-2 formation, which really threw me a bit. Then 2-2 against Newcastle, so Dele Alli scoring a penalty, to which then we replied with a 40th minute goal with Mikel Antonio. Then Lincoln in the 66th minute scoring again, but Mikel Antonio coming through yet again to score in the 74th minute. He's really picked up form towards the end of the season, trying to prove himself. And then in the game against Aston Villa, in the first minute we scored, and in the 89th minute we scored as well with Kurt Zouma. Just sort of scored early, held on to the game, and then towards the last minutes, Aston Villa went a bit more attacking, and we just took advantage of that. So that leads us on to today. We have Everton, in which we are now sitting 9th in the league. This league table is very interesting, by the way, because you can see United, City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea struggling big time, just qualifying for the Europa League, I believe that is. Then Brentford have qualified for the Europa League with 20 wins. Now, their side, they have Mbeumo, who's a pretty good player, but look at the estimated worth. 60 to 95 million for him. I know he's a fantastic player, but the guy's been in the Championship for 2 years. I don't think he's that highly rated player. 16 goals, though. He's got to have been doing something properly. Onyeka, that we know from last year's Blackburn save, he's been playing very well for them. A really good average rating for him, 6.91. But really, where the goals have been coming from, I'll have to have a look. Goals-wise, looking at Ivan Toney, Mbeumo, and then assists-wise, you're looking at Saman Ghoddos, who's been playing pretty well for them as well as Onyeka, Rico Henry, for example. But Ivan Toney doing the business for them, proving his worth in the Premier League. He's carried through that form, and he looks really, really good. Really good. So for us today, the lowest we can finish is 13th, but we'd have to lose 24-0. But realistically, we're looking at trying to just maybe draw with Everton, which would land us into around about the 9th spot. And it all depends on this game against Everton, which we're going to go into right now. We've been playing this 4-2-3-1. We've been playing very well with it, incredibly well. But it's just a shame we've been picking up a lot of injuries, and a lot of people have been going out. For example, Mikel Antonio is not perfect because he keeps going on international duty, so he struggled in that sense. Vlasic has come back, so he'll be put back into the side. Ogbonna's going to leave us. Musacchio, I've just not found a place for him, to be honest, and he's not happy, so he wants to leave. He's wanted by Brighton and Villarreal. I'll probably get 15 million for him, which for a free transfer, I'll happily take. Kral, Kobayas, Lukaku and Areola will be leaving us at the end of the season. We've obviously brought in Sam Johnstone, who's been absolutely surreal for us. Kufal has suddenly found form out of nowhere. I've been waiting for it all season. Kurt Zouma's looking like an absolute beast at the back, so I'm happy with him. Issa Diop's been playing really well for us. Cresswell found his form towards the end of the season, as well as Almada being an absolute genius on that through the middle. And it's just been really, really good for us. So I've been happy with the side towards the end of the season. Now then, we're going to go balanced. No, we're not. We're going to go cautious against Everton because they are obviously going to be pushing us to try and get into the final final embers of the season, trying to push it. But yeah, we're going to see how we can do, as I've just pressed my watch, sorry about that, how we can do against them. It's going to be an interesting final game to really see out the season, but it should be a decent enough game for us to just land in this 9th spot. I want to see us finish in 9th. Everton play very defensive, which doesn't suit us realistically going forward because our forward line isn't the most powerful, but I'm happy with our midfield. Our midfield have finally been pulling the weight. Gbamin has intercepted the ball there, and Doucouré can now try and send it forward through Townsend, who goes on a little bit of a rampage. Davies plays through to Calvert-Lewin, who finds Richarlison, who's a bit of a scary player. Digne's got a good cross on him. Hopefully he can't find a crossing, but he does. Calvert-Lewin's in and around the area. Godfrey's picked it up. Digne's there. It's palmed out by Sam Johnstone, who then makes a double save, I believe. Oh no, he's headed over by Calvert-Lewin. And that to start the game isn't very encouraging, but I will encourage the boys to try and get something out of it. As we have now got a free kick. Now, will Thiago Almada be standing over this? He will be. He's great at his free kicks. He's forced to save there, and it's just not gone in. As you can see there in the bottom left-hand corner, Manchester United have actually been dominating this year. They're beating Aston Villa. They've won the league by an absolute country mile. And it's looking interesting at the mid-table aspect so far as Calvert-Lewin has won his header there, and that's put Everton just in front, where we probably should be going balanced to try and even out how dominant this Everton side are being. Townsend whips the ball in, Calvert-Lewin's been picked up, who by Koufal, of all people, which is a strange one because someone's so good in the air, you need to be picking them up. And so far, Everton are sitting above us in 9th. We're currently 10th. It's not brilliant. A draw will still send us through. I'll get the scores up as well, actually. I'll have to get that up. But I'm going to point the finger. We've not created enough so far. Defending-wise, you weren't that bad, but midfielders-wise, I'm not happy with your finishing so far. Let's keep going. Let's try and find a bit of a groove here. Latest scores will get them up. Leicester currently are losing to Chelsea, so that puts us ahead of them. Aston Villa losing to Manchester United, so that puts us ahead of them as well. So far, we're doing all right. We're doing absolutely fine. In terms of players that I can bring in, I've been looking at Edouard from Crystal Palace, potentially Brighton of Bissouma, who's a nice little addition, as well as we need to make a few changes here because we're just playing absolutely shocking football. We're going to go positive because I want to see a bit of a change. Fire up the lads, a bit of a change for the last game of the season. Let's try and get a goal anywhere we can. Digne sits over a free kick. He has a shot. Sam Johnstone, yeah, manages to make a save there. We've done all right out of that, but coming up to the 19th minute now, it looks like we might not get anything from this game as Souček's had an absolute stinker through the midfield. Richarlison's been played over the top, and that is a decent block in the end. Townsend picks it up, cuts inside, finds Tosin, who plays a nice little 1-2 with Townsend, who tries to have a shot, and it just doesn't fall for him. As now, there's a final free kick of the game here, and there's a highlight for it. Who's standing over it? Almada tries to play a lofted ball over the top, it doesn't work. Vlasic picks it up to Rice. Out wide to Zuma now. We find Yarmolenko, who finds Dawson. Ben Rama tries to find Koufal. Oh, fair enough, right. So it's an ending highlight, fair enough. And that puts us in 10th, I believe. Unlucky boys, I'm not going to be too harsh on them after the run they've been on. But that puts us dead set in the middle of the league. I'm not going to be too bothered about that. We see Tottenham finishing it with 42 points. That's really, really poor for Tottenham. Newcastle, after an exciting January, should I say, sitting on 59 points. Watford avoiding the relegation zone, Norwich as well, Brighton, Burnley and Crystal Palace all being sent down. And that ends a season which has been not very exciting for us, but we've managed to pull it back after it looked really, really bad. Here's the review. So, the new additions. Who have we brought in? We've brought in quite a few players this year, to be honest. So we've brought in Ben Quinn, for example, 150k. Craig Dawson came in from Watford for 2 million. Kurt Zuma for 30 million. They're disappointed with him as I believe the transfer fee doesn't really equal how good he's been, but I think he's been a solid player for us. Areola, decent on loan. Danny Kobayas, a great signing on loan, I think he was. Just as a bit of a different option for when he comes onto the pitch. I brought him on a lot of times as a deep line playmaker defend, and he did do a shift for us, so 1.2 million. Would probably be a nice little pick-up for Danny Kobayas, in all honesty. Depending on what his wages probably might be a bit too much for us. But then Jorginho Rutter, that's the name. 4 million we bought him in for. He had a decent loan. loan time at Burnley, and he looks like I could sell him on for quite a bit of profit if I wanted to at this point. A few other players we've brought in there. Sam Johnstone has been an absolutely outstanding player. Probably signing of the season. Yeah, definitely signing of the season. Came in, was fantastic for us. Alex Crowell, just a bit average really. Vlasic came in for 25.5. Almada, a brilliant signing as well to be brought in. And Dion Lopi as well. The board are pleased with the team's achievement of the top half finish because we managed to just fit in that 10th role. We've done well. The season started off very stinky. Very, very stinky indeed. A win against Tottenham and Brighton, but then a disappointing run, and then towards the end of the season we managed to pick up quite a few wins, which put us into a decent enough position. The biggest win against Southampton there, 6-2. The match to remember was obviously the London derby. Goal of the season goes to Jared Bowen, who had a decent enough game this year. Annual revenue up from last year, obviously, because everything else was just standard. The club reputation stays the same. Vlasic sold a lot of shirts. Rice, Souček, Bowen, Noble also sold quite a few shirts out there. And this was the team of the year. So you're looking at Fabianski in net, which is quite questionable actually, because I believe Sam Johnstone probably deserves it. Cresswell on the left, Scoof on the right, Zuma, Diop in the middle. It's a Diop, that is. Rice and Souček through the midfield, Vlasic on the left, Bowen on the right, Antonio up front, and then in behind the striker was Fornals, who might be questionable actually. It could possibly have been our mate Almada. But yeah, we got our Manager of the Year month award in April. Fans' favourite player of the season was Issa Diop. Young player of the season was Vlasic at 24. Most goals and everything. Record breakers, Aaron Cresswell with 11 assists. Flipping heck, that's a lot of assists from that left-back role. He's wanted by Wolves at the moment. At the ripe age of 32, looking to possibly bring in a replacement for him. Not a replacement, but a backup anyway, to potentially take his spot in the future. And then worst discipline, Souček picking up 11 yellow cards. Really, really bad there. But yeah, did we get our scouting budget yet? We don't get our scouting budget. I'll join you back next time, which will be a very interesting transfer episode, which, I mean, with West Ham, the finances are pretty good. But will we see ourselves get a load of money pumped into the side? Will I have like a transfer budget of 25 million would be fantastic, because I'm looking to get rid of Musacchio, Ogbonna, maybe a few other members of the side. We'll have to see what sort of offers we get. But if Newcastle come sniffing and they offer big money, you can't really say no at this point of the season. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy this episode. Thanks for watching the first season of West Ham Hammer Time. It's been great. I've enjoyed the beta save. This sort of comes to a nice little conclusion for a first year. I'll probably carry this on for another season and a bit. I'll see if it's worth me carrying it on for a lot longer. I'll probably just have this as a background series if I do keep it on for much longer. But yeah, I want to start looking at a prospect of a better series to really bring you a bit more of an exciting one as well. So yeah, please leave a like if you are enjoying this video, subscribe if you are new so you can keep updated with the series, and I shall see you in the next video. From me, Alex, have a great day. Ciao.